Hi, this is AnneMarie Martins, Level 3 QHHT practitioner. In this session, we are continuing the previous Hathor session because there's so much information that they provided. AnneMarie is channeling the Hathors with Sarah Breskman Cosme facilitating. The Hathors talk about the energy of Atlantis, which they say was the highest energetic level the Earth has achieved in its entire history. Florida is cited as being part of where Atlantis was. The Hathors explain how we are moving into a higher vibration and the changes and signs of this as we shift into Ascension. They describe the veil and the membrane that is surrounding the Earth, that is growing in unity consciousness to bring about the Ascension. They describe many of the situations happening on the Earth at this time. And the Hathors also describe how the energy of the planet is cleansing and raising itself through the various storms that we're experiencing. Again, I hope you enjoy this session. Thanks for coming and listening to my channel.
Why was she supposed to move to Sarasota? What was that all about?
It is easier for her to receive guidance and intuition and energy in Sarasota. The veil is much thinner here. The worlds are collectively merging here.
Is that just for that place or for everywhere?
No, I'm seeing 3/4 of the state of Florida is part of this field. The lower 3/4 of the state, it falls below the city of Orlando. Below that, this field starts.
And what is this field exactly?
It looks like a silken, silvery cloud almost. It's like an enveloping of a higher dimensional cloud that is slowly beginning to merge downward into the ground in that location. It's like bringing heaven down, or if you will, the dimension is different. The dimension is higher. The dimension is a different frequency, but it's showing as a silken silver. It's a silvery looking frequency, like just very thin. You can't see it. I'm seeing it now. I can describe it to you, but it's like a veil, like a veil between the worlds, and it's all surrounding this area.
And you get a sense as to why this area?
Oh, this was, yes, I see this silken expansion. This was part of the area you call Atlantis, yes? It extends. I'm asking to be shown the rest of it. The rest of it, it's a very same looking veil, this silvery cloud, silvery veil. It's like this was like a tip, like a pointy tip, like the horn. This location of Florida was like the horn And then it keeps going to the eastward side and gets bigger and bigger. The landmass gets bigger. But there were islands, many islands too. Not just one big landmass. There were islands, big ones and small little ones, and then...
And was Atlantis a key? Is Atlantis a key piece in the Ascension, or no?
It was the very highest civilization that has ever existed on this planet.
Oh.
It was the highest level of frequency that has ever been achieved on this planet. And then it fell.
Oh, I see.
All of that work, all of that time, all of that beautiful light, just gone. Just gone like that in an instant. We think it was such a waste. Such a waste, and so sad. And everything fell into darkness. This dark hole, black hole. But there were places, I see places where it continued, places of light, where there were parts that were sent. Parts were sent, forming this link, yes, around the middle. Light in Egypt, light in India, light, light in Mesoamerica, light, lights, there's lights, very small lights. To try to hold that little bit of energy so that someday those lights could grow bigger and bigger and bigger and reconnect into this beautiful silvery fine frequency that is now above this state that you call Florida. It is beginning again. It is beginning again. It is here now. It's here now. It hasn't quite expanded nearly as big as it used to be, but it's beginning now. It's the veil, or the higher dimensional frequency. And those lights are becoming much brighter than they used to be. And there will be a connection of all of these lights, which are lined up within this parallel. Yes, it's true, there is the existence of these lights all within a certain range of the earth. Within a certain range they exist, and it's important that they were placed equally apart. There is an equally, I don't know the word, it is like placed at certain spacing apart. Certain spacing, and these lights are there, and they are now lit up. The matrix has been joined, the light grid, if you will, what you call it, the light grid is lighting up now, and it's assisting in raising this frequency.
What is happening with the earth shift at this moment?
There are still places of great darkness, like the big hole that we saw after Atlantis. That big hole was very dark, and it went very deep into the earth, like a vortex spinning in the opposite direction. Now, these holes have mostly been filled in because you must reverse the corkscrew, if you will. Reverse it back up and out. Well, that's kind of a strange way to say it, maybe, but there's been so much darkness on this planet. So much darkness. And now we see very many dots of light in many places. And this very fine, this energy frequency that we describe over the area of Florida, it's the energy itself is like a very fine, silken frequency. It is not heavy like a metallic frequency, or like the metal of war, or like the heavy earthen, angry. No. This is a heavenly frequency. It is a higher dimensional energy, and it brings a very beautiful color palette with it, like you may sometimes see now. The skies will have a pink, they will have a purple, they will have a blue that is quite beautiful, not like these colors have been seen here before.
Wow.
It's different than what you would have your normal sunset. These are beautiful new colors being introduced because they come from these higher dimensions. This jungle that she saw earlier is part of this new world. It's part of this higher vibrational place.
Tell me about that.
It shimmers. It has this frequency above it. This dimensional cloud above brings in the shimmer, brings in the silken frequency, brings in the lighter colors into the sky, the pink and the purple. The pink is more predominant after a while.
Why?
Because it's a higher color. As the earth raises its vibration, the atmosphere is also raising its vibration. It is normal that the atmosphere will be raised along with the planet. Everything is ascending. The atmosphere sadly does have quite a lot of heavy metals in it. This is what has warmed the planet. But this higher dimensional energy is going to melt away those metals, because this frequency is a higher vibration. So therefore it will trump the lower vibrations.
Oh, I see.
Things will rise. It's the law. Things will rise to the highest vibrational frequency available. It's an entrainment, if you will.
Wow.
An entrainment to the higher vibration.
That's amazing. How can she best be in service? Like, what? I know you gave her this amazing tool to heal, but do you want her to prepare? Or you want her to write, heal, read, or do it all?
She can do all of it, and every part of it is being in service. Healing is a great service, and there are more and more people that need healing of this kind. People need to become restored. They have to restore themselves. They have to restore their ability to be high vibrational creatures, because they cannot raise up if they are not.
That's a good point.
They cannot. And so it is very useful to do this kind of healing. Now, this assumes that the being healed wants to receive this kind of higher frequency and go into a very high ascensional process. If the being does not, then there is no point. They will stay earthbound in this heavy metallic frequency that is low. They will not go up higher. It will be this very refined energy that will match the level of Atlantis.
Oh. Anything about that you want to say?
As we said, Atlantis was the highest frequency that was achieved on this planet. We are just trying now to get back to that. Trying to get back to that. It was a very refined, if you can imagine the feeling of very refined silk. Touch that silk. It is so soft you cannot even hardly feel it. It's just very refined. That is the energy frequency that we try to describe right now. It is a silvery shimmer, a light, puffy, light, you can hardly feel it kind of vibration. Now, everything on this planet is very dense, very heavy. Not everything. Things are moving and shifting, but there still is density. There still is this heavy energy. And we are trying to help assist in this transformation of this matrix of energy that is heavy. This all can be shifted through this kind of healing, putting out this kind of light, putting this matrix around the planet and sending the same colors, these same vibrational frequencies into the earth, assists the earth in ascending and transmuting this heavy energy. The earth is willing to ascend. So when there is doubt, send this vibrational frequency into the earth.
And is it just by sending these colors that you're sending the frequency?
As we said, it is also information that goes with the colors. There is information to heal, information to ascend, information to transform the matrix. It is mathematical information, it is musical information, it is tones, it is everything. Light language is part of this information that goes in. This light language comes from higher and higher beings and vibrational energies, and it is part of the assistance that is provided to raise the vibration here.
Amazing.
When one is plugged in, if you will, to the right circuits, and as we describe this plugging into the Hathor frequencies as we are offering, we assist in bringing that energy down to this earth plane. We operate at a much higher dimensional level, and we assist in bringing down the healing frequencies to assist the matrix in healing and transforming to higher ascension properties. So one must be willing and able to plug in to distribute this frequency. Many people can do this now. We would not say they can only plug into us, but we are one way they can plug in.
Okay.
There are others assisting. The Pleiadians do this work as well.
And could you tell me about AnneMarie's relationship with the Pleiadians?
They are the other group that she works with.
And how do they work with her exactly?
They are her tribe. They are always her cheerleaders. She is one of them. She comes from the Pleiades.
Where in the Pleiades? Do you get a sense?
It's a beautiful place. It also has pink skies and a lot of water. There are dolphins there. They are higher dimensional beings, the Pleiadians. They show themselves as columns of light. They are columns of light, consciousness. You can kind of see their robes, but their faces are not very clear. They are very highly evolved beings, and they are also assisting very much in this ascension process.
How are the Pleiadians assisting in the ascension process?
They are sending many of their kind to the earth. Many have volunteered to come down, and they work with many of their kind here on this planet. They also they have their ships positioned around the planet. They cannot be seen because they are in a different dimensional frequency, but they are assisting in raising the vibration from those locations above the planet.
How do they go about doing that?
They are sending their frequencies match this dimensional frequency I described. This silver, very light frequency that the earth has experienced previously in Atlantis, that we see now forming over the bottom part of Florida. This is the same frequency that the Hathors can introduce. Well, that's a little different. But the Pleiadians are bringing that frequency, that exact frequency. They are able to send it from their ships where they are positioned around the planet, and they are connecting with those lights that still exist around the planet that were placed there after before the fall of Atlantis.
And what happens when they connect with these lights?
They are assisting in bringing those lights up. So the lights are becoming stronger and larger. The lights are beaming much brighter now than they were. They are reactivating those lights. They are reactivating those parts of the earth where those lights exist. They are forming those clouds of misty silver vibration. This dimension that we are describing is forming over each of those light positions.
And why are there so many Pleiadians on the planet right now?
Because they are the ones able to do this kind of work. They are refined into the dimension that matches very well the dimension that the earth is ascending to or trying to ascend to, and the same energetic position of Atlantis.
Can you tell me more about that?
The Atlanteans came from the Pleiades. Many of the original Atlanteans came from the Pleiades. That is their purest form. That is their purest energetic match. It is the same frequency in its purest form. It is what is being aspired to now. It is all connected. It is all connected. It is quite incredible and quite complicated, as you see.
Amazing.
That this return to Atlantis and all of these beings that were once here as part of Atlantis, the original beings, the original tribes.
The original tribes are back again?
They were from the Pleiades, yes.
Mm-hmm.
They are coming back, and they lived in Atlantis. They were part of Atlantis for many, many, many lifetimes. Atlantis existed for eons of time.
And what about Lemuria? The Pleiadians that went to Lemuria?
Yes, Lemuria coexisted with Atlantis on the other side. It was also a very, very, very highly evolved civilization, much like Atlantis, exactly the same kind of high frequency.
Are there tribes in the Pleiades?
Are there say that again?
Are there tribes in the Pleiades?
Not now. The Pleiades is one group, it is highly evolved. It is one energy. All of the beings are united into one energetic body, even though there are individual consciousnesses within this frequency of unity consciousness.
I see.
They are in a unity consciousness.
Wonderful. And you said that's where Earth is moving?
Yes, into unity consciousness.
Is there anything else about that you want to say?
Well, this is not so hard to become. It is simply raising the vibration to the place where people can feel this connection to all things, this connection to the field, this connection of the matrix of the individual body, as we described earlier, is the same matrix that surrounds the earth, that surrounds every living thing, and forms the field, if you will, that connects all of the cosmos. So once there are those that are raised and elevated and sensing the matrix of the human form, they will very easily be able to move into this unity consciousness frequency. It is what we are striving to rapidly increase on the planet. Now, we have achieved on the planet at this time quite a lot of activation. It is happening everywhere now, but it is not a united, if you will, how do I describe this? It is not connected yet. It is still existing in different places, but it is not formed into one cohesive membrane. Yes, that's the word. Membrane around the whole planet.
Oh.
Once it is formed into a cohesive membrane, everything underneath it will be in this unity consciousness field, this higher dimensional frequency, fifth dimension if you call it that, or higher, sixth, seventh. This will all be a higher frequency, and nothing underneath it will not be able to be in it.
Wow, I see. Okay. So it's happening.
Yes, it is happening. It is happening in different places. Spots are forming, we see, over Florida. We see also, as we described, along the places where those lights are, this field is spreading out along that band. Oh, that band is pretty much almost connected now, along that parallel, that latitude, if you will. There is a band of this highly refined veil, membrane, that's the word, that is kind of floating above the earth, floating above Florida. As we know, there is that energy. It's why they say the veil is thinner. It is a frequency that those who can feel or sense can easily float into. Not like in the denser places on the planet where there is no ability to float into that because it is not there above them. Now, there are other places. Let me see where those are.
Okay.
There is quite a bit of this veil floating above the Arctic. Yes, that is easy to do because there are no people there. Also, over the Antarctic, of course, easy because there are not really people there. Those two poles have received this frequency, and it is where it will begin to melt down from. Well, we use the word melt, but it is like the veil moves and continues to grow incrementally larger and larger as the vibrations are raised, or there is more awareness adding to the veil, adding to the membrane. As people achieve higher dimensional frequencies or ascension frequencies, they contribute to raising the veil. They contribute to the membrane. The membrane grows larger as more are aware, because it becomes a collective unity consciousness field. The unity consciousness begins to collect and move into a larger and larger membrane.
Wow.
The membrane becomes larger as the field is increased by the consciousness. That's very interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
That's what they are saying.
It's amazing.
This is... Oh, now this is rather sad, but the veil has stayed in existence over the Amazon for many eons of time.
Why?
Because it was a very highly spiritual place, a very high dimensional place. People were in higher dimensional frequencies who lived in the Amazon forest. But as it is being destroyed, that frequency, that veil, that membrane is shrinking very, very small now. This is why it is important not to destroy the Amazon, because it needs to grow, not shrink.
Was there a UFO war during the recent hurricane or no?
These storms are all energetic reactions to the energy field on the planet. The field is very chaotic, very, very chaotic at this time. It is the overlap.
Oh, so it's just from the chaos?
No, I'm not finished yet. There are, as I said, this veil over parts of Florida. This is where the chaos... I need a minute to sort this. The chaos formed in a different place. It gains steam as it travels around because there is still a lot of very low energy on this planet that contributes into creating this massive storm. This storm, it's a cleansing in some ways for the earth. It's a purging. It's a letting go of. It's a field of energy that the earth needs to accomplish in order to cleanse, clear, reactivate, because it is filled with electrical currency. It is filled with energetic vibration that can assist in raising the vibration through the electrical field that is in these storms. There are many negative entities that have been cleared from the fields, especially in the places where the membrane is growing stronger. In these places, there has been a clearing. The clearing continues as more clearing of the negative energies, the negative entities, the negative beings that are inside the planet releases. There will be the ability to build more and more of the membrane stronger and stronger. Now, as we talk about what you might call wars, this is simply the Pleiadian forces above the planet are sending this high vibrational frequency in. These negative entities, which are now being forced to retreat, forced to leave this planet that they want to hold on to. They want to keep it down. They want to keep it grounded in this very heavy, metallic, earthly muck, this negative energy. It is the opposite of this membrane. When
sense.
These two things collide, they create these storms, because these storms are truly the two colliding. Truly, that is what is happening, and the energy, the electrical fields are battling. The light and the dark, the forces of nature, they become the forces of nature.
Oh, it makes so much sense.